Hey everyone, I want to introduce the speaker of this evening for Mental Health Matters. We have Shawnessa Devonish-Ford, LCPC, NCC, founder of Rejuvenated Minds Therapeutic Services. She is a licensed therapist, a national board certified counselor, and speaker. She empowers individuals, couples, and organizations to combat mental health challenges by encouraging them to commit to their wellness journey and keeping them accountable to hit their goals. Her ultimate mission is to become a companion on her client's path of growth by aiding in energy replenishment, nurturing resilience. She has been featured on The Real Housewives of Potomac, Fox News, and more for her work in the mental health and wellness field. And from that, let's welcome Shawnessa as I stop sharing my screen as she begins to share hers.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate being a part of this space.
Yes,
Now,
I'm so glad you're here.
yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so excited to be talking about a topic that I'm truly passionate about, which is mental health. Duh, I'm a therapist, and stress management also, because we all, including myself, have suffered from intense level of stress within our lives. So overall, I want to help you all learn how to navigate those stressful states, as well as give you some strategies to deal with it from a holistic standpoint. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have to warn y'all, I'm hoping that things go smoothly with sharing my slides because I'm not tech savvy at all. My husband did a test run before this, so we're gonna pray. Let's see. Okay, so you all see
I can see
Canva.
your screen.
Okay, I'm gonna try to put my presentations on full screen. There we go.
Yes.
Could you see it?
Yep.
I'm excited. Okay, this is a win for today. So, welcome to Thriving Under Pressure, Effective Stress Management Strategies for Mental Health Awareness Month. And if you all don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And again, a topic that I find truly important in our community is stress management. So, we'll be focusing on that for today. Right. A little bit about me from a personal standpoint, because I truly pride myself in not only honing in on my professional accolades, but also my personal ones outside of the office, or as I like to call, outside of the couch. So, in addition to being a licensed therapist, speaker, TV media expert, all of the things, I'm also a wife. I'm a dog mom, travel enthusiast, hibachi lover. So if anybody have any amazing hibachi spots they want to share in the DC area, please send them my way. I'm also a swimmer. I recently learned how to swim 2 years ago, and I think I'm a fish, which is really concerning to a lot of my family members, but I take pride in that. Favorite shows, Insecure and Girlfriends, huge fan. And despite popular belief, I am actually an ambivert, more so on the introverted side, which a lot of people are very shocked about. So that is a little bit about me. Today's agenda. So, first things first, we're going to talk about stress, understanding what that word stress means. And surprise, surprise, there is a such thing as positive and negative stress. So, we are going to dissect those both so you can get an understanding of what each concept means. Also, warning signs associated with stress. You guys will get a further understanding of some signs that maybe you're in a stressful state, and that should be a huge red flag for you. And also an encouragement for you to do some coping mechanisms, exercises, strategies to navigate that state. And lastly, at the end of the presentation, I will give you all some effective stress management strategies. This is by far one of my favorite quotes by one of my most favorite actresses, which is Taraji P. Henson. She does amazing work in the mental health field, specifically related to advocacy. She actually has I want to say the conference is in 2 weeks at the National Harbor if you all want to check it out. But the quote states, "We've been taught to tough it out, hide our suffering. But this is something none of us have ever experienced, and no one should suffer in silence." Two things come up to me when I seen this quote, and as I continue to bring it up during my workshops, is one, normalizing suffering. Realistically speaking, we all suffer. We go through significant challenges in our lives, and it's okay to acknowledge that. And secondly, not doing it in silence, the importance of healing in community. And I truly want to invite you all to do just that. If you don't take anything away from this particular workshop, take this away. Make sure you reach out to your loved ones that you trust and share your feelings, share your thoughts, and be open. I'm going to say that word again, a T word, trust, because not everybody deserves the gift of vulnerability. So the trustworthy people, okay? Okay. What the F is stress? When you think of stress, I want you to immediately think of pressure. I have a formal definition that I'm going to share in a minute with you all, but just think of the pressures of life that tends to create this overwhelming state physically, emotionally, and mentally, and trigger some behavioral challenges. But formal definition, stress can be defined as the body and mind's response to perceived challenges or demands, triggering physiological, psychological, behavioral, and emotional reactions aimed at adapting to or coping with the stressors. In a few moments, we are going to dive into what some of those stressors may include. This is not a definite list, but this is some things that I notice come up when I'm researching or even during certain therapy sessions. All right, so this is a huge warning, all right? I don't want any of y'all to be her because she was a hot mess. And she is me, okay? Me, I want to say about 7 years ago, where I thought I was superwoman and was doing all the things, putting so much on my plate, and enter into a state of burnout. So my source of stress ended up trickling down to a state of burnout as well as depression. So I was in grad school full time, working numerous jobs, 12 to 8 hour days, which is crazy because we only have 24 hours in a day. Sleep deprived, planning a wedding. I highly don't recommend that if you are in school or going through any major life transitions. Experiencing frequent migraines. I also experienced some strange relationships with family members that was really difficult for me to navigate. And the savior mentality. I wanted to save all the people. I'm a therapist, for Christ's sake, so it just comes naturally to me. But I went into that savior state so intensely that I neglected myself. And I don't want any of you all to have to experience that. So this is a warning for you all. One question I do want you all to process is a time when you felt stress. Really hone in on that moment and identify one, what the stressor was, as well as how your body, mind, and emotions responded to that.
I can share if you like.
Okay, no bad. Do your thing. Do your thing.
So a time when I felt stress was looking for a job. That
Mhm.
was very stressful. I feel like all the lessons that were just appearing all at once, like the surrender, the I'm doing my best, I'm trying. I'm also, putting out my resumes, and then there's this one idea of not selling myself short, or maybe I am maybe I'm over exemplifying my resume, making it because I want more. And like that whole process was like very stressful because you don't know what's next or how to navigate during that period because you just don't know, right? And you don't know how long it's going to take. Like you don't have no time frame because in your mind you want it to happen the day you start applying. And sometimes that may not happen. It may take a few months. Sometimes it take people longer than a few months, maybe a year. But that few months was very stressful and just trying to stay in the present moment and not focus on so much of the future because it didn't happen yet and not really trying to stress about the past on how I could have did better, should have done better, et cetera, because those thoughts come in that process. But that was definitely a time where I felt really stressed and I was like, wow. Like very just like because it comes at you hear financial stress, but it also impacts your mental health. I feel like it also impacts your physical health because your mental health is just like so stressed out that sometimes physically it can look like overeating or maybe I'm not going to work out because I'm just so stressed, right? So
Mhm.
I would share that because I think that is something that many people do face, and that's something I have faced. And I was just like, wow, this is bringing me down to the surrender. Like I can only do my best, and whatever comes from that, I mean, we're just gonna have to roll with that.
That part. And you brought up really great points as far as uncertainty being a huge source of stress for a lot of people. Nobody don't like knowing what's going to happen next, right? Especially when you're in this intense financial state. So I totally can understand why you were in that space, as well as some imposter syndrome. When we're in those intensely stressed states, we don't think about how amazing we are. We lose sight of our awesomeness. And it's important that we give ourselves grace first and foremost and really restructure our thoughts so we can know that even despite these circumstances, I'm still the amazing candidate. I still have so many qualities that I can bring to the table. And overall, hype yourself up. Sue, I really appreciate you for sharing. I'm also gonna yes, such a great point. I'm really bad at like navigating the chats, but I'm gonna try to do it good today, okay? And Natalie, great, yes, definitely a great point. All right, so some statistics for you all. According to the World Health Organization, stress is considered a global epidemic, with an estimated 3 million people worldwide and counting suffering from it. I honestly feel like 3 million is just a really low number, to be quite honest, because numerous people are suffering from stress and may not necessarily be admitting it. And stress can kill. We don't want it to be a lethal result for anybody here today. So it's super important that one, we take these stats or this stat and do what's necessary to move forward to combat it. Because ultimately, we want to see that number go down. Oh, I don't know if I said 300 million or 3 million, but 300 million. All right. So shockingly, yes, there is positive stress out there. And when you think of positive stress, I want you to truly think of that stress that enhance your performance and motivation with certain events, individuals, work projects, you name it. An example of positive stress can include you getting a promotion at work that you always desired. Graduation day for a lot of people. We're in graduation season, so I know a lot of people are super anxious about, well, not anxious, but super excited about walking across the stage, but a little anxious and stressed out about the next steps. Also, participating in a sports competition. It brings a stressful state, but you're also really, really motivated to do your best to get to the goal, which is of winning. Now, with negative stress, be mindful that that particular state hinders you. It doesn't uplift you, motivate you, it depletes you. So with negative stress, think of financial challenges, losing jobs, ending relationships. Those particular situations aren't motivational as well. And they tend not to put you in an empowered state, but more so a depressive state that can deplete you and your energy levels. All right. So, signs of stress. Everyone keep in mind about this slide because oftentimes we are unaware that stress is impacting us. We traditionally take it as, oh, I'm just sick. This is something that will go past. This is a cold. I'm normally this way. Nothing's wrong with me. But in reality, it could be a sign that you are stressed out and you don't want that to exacerbate. I truly want to take note of the physical side of things. I hear so many times clients coming into my office from doctors' referrals because they went in for a particular physical health condition and everything was ruled out on their end. And they ask, have you seen a therapist? Maybe you are depressed, or they do their own screen and discover you're really stressed out, you're depressed, you're anxious, whatever the case may be. So I do want to invite you all to take note of all these particular symptoms, but specifically the physical as well, because that could be a sign that, hey, I might be doing too much, I may be stressed out, and I need to do what I need to do to combat it. So muscle tension. Common one is insomnia and hypersomnia, low energy, weakened immune system are a few. But when you go into the behavioral category, you have increase in anger, which is a normal emotion, but I would definitely want you all to examine your responses to anger because that can be unhealthy. Isolation, procrastination is a big one. That's not the healthiest in most cases. Increase in risky behavior, hypervigilant, being really nervous and anxious, as well as some cognitive challenges, such as with concentration, memory, self defeating thoughts, decrease in creative abilities. So, these are definitely some signs I want you all to be on the lookout for. And if you discover that you're experiencing one or multiple of these, I have some strategies at the end of the slide that can assist y'all with managing it. All right. So, a question to reflect on. What are some signs you notice about yourself when you're stressed out? And you guys can go back because you can definitely take note of this slide and process that. So you could be well aware of when that flag goes up, like I need to do something. Causes. So again, these are not all the causes of stress. These are just some of the common ones that I hear about as a clinician in my personal life, as well as through my research. So religion is one that comes up, specifically trying to muscle tension. Okay. That's one thing that I experienced too. And that's literally my sign to do something, get some sleep. Yoga is really helpful. Also, progressive muscle relaxation. That's a meditation exercise that you can find on YouTube, but it's just an intervention where you tense up portions of your body and release it for a satisfying sensation and mental release. Again, that's progressive muscle relaxation. All right. Causes, religion, that's what you're talking about. So religion, trying to be perfect when conforming to a religious group or spiritual state. That can put people in a very intense position stress-wise. Parenting. I always hear these kids are throwing me off. So parenting is a huge source of stress for a lot of people, as well as work. Sometimes, you're grateful for your job, you are respectful, but there's moments where you don't like it, whether it's getting unexpected tasks on your way or even the pay, realistically speaking, it can be a huge source of stress. Educational experience, as I mentioned before, individuals are graduating, and the uncertainty about what to do next or how to navigate the real world can produce a level of stress. Relationships and marriages. I love Disney movies, they are amazing, but they provide a fairy tale regarding relationships. There are challenges and conflicts that occur in relationships, naturally speaking, that have produced an intense level of stress. However, there are ways to navigate it, but just be mindful that relationships and marriages can be a huge source of stress. And if you find that applies to you, definitely visit a marriage counselor, a relationship therapist. Multitude of mental health conditions can trigger stress. Family can also be a huge source of stress. We love them dearly, but they can get on our nerves. Being a caregiver, I always joke and say it's so difficult raising parents. And it's true, they don't listen. And that can be a huge source of stress as well. And situationships. You truly have to be honest with yourself to see if this situationship is something that you can continue to commit to without getting in your feelings, without feeling like you want more. But if you are becoming uncomfortable with your situationship and it's causing you stress, you may want to reconsider remaining in it. And like I mentioned, there are more causes that weren't mentioned today, but I definitely want to encourage you to reflect on it. Okay. How am I with time?
You are pretty good.
Okay. Okay. So we are towards the end of our slides. I just want to make sure that I'm being respectful. But now we're talking about strategies on how you could combat stress. And one approach I take so often is utilizing this wellness wheel. The wellness wheel is a holistic tool that help people understand the different dimensions of wellness that helps promote a stress-free life, enhance levels of fulfillment. I'm going to actually move on to the next slide because it's a little bit bigger, but there are 7 dimensions of wellness out in research world. There are a multitude of different forms of wellness wheels that have certain components such as job related wellness and creative wellness. But I do like this one because I figure out certain components of this wheel can meet the job requirements, such as financial. You could think of job related stress or job fulfillment. And intellectual, you can think of your creative ability in that particular category. But keep in mind that there are 7 dimensions you want to assess on a regular basis. Am I meeting my spiritual needs? A further understanding of my beliefs, values, and ethics that gives me a sense of satisfaction, gives me purpose. Second is emotional. So, am I being emotionally sound and in tune? Is my mental health on a good path? Intellectual. Am I stimulating my mind with creativity, with educational endeavors, reading, political issues? If that's your thing, advocacy, social policy, things of that nature, whatever satisfy you, am I in a constant state of inviting this particular interest in my life? Always constantly learning. Physical is pretty self-explanatory. So our physical being, are we being healthy? Are we eating the right foods? Are we working out? Sleep is a big one. Sleep, dental, and also sex. Let's be honest. Sex is normal for a lot of people. Are you being sexually safe and satisfied? Social wellness. So do we have a strong social support? And most importantly, are we utilizing our social support? Oftentimes, people tend to suppress how they feel until they have a breakdown. And the first thing that a friend or family member would say is, why didn't you tell me? So it's super important that you check in with yourself to see if you are utilizing your support system. Environmental wellness, not only checking in to see if you are making a global impact, but also seeing if your environment is satisfying to you. Behind me is my office, and it did not look like this for about a year. Recently, I put my foot down and just got things situated. So when I do come in this space, I feel at ease. I feel comfortable. I feel productive. So that was me decluttering my space. Also with you, decluttering your space, putting up some fun posters, adding some plants, really making your spaces truly comfortable and calm for you. And lastly, financial. That is a huge, important aspect because unfortunately, we need money to navigate certain areas of our lives, i.e., housing, food, clothes, you name it, important pieces. So we want to make sure that we're in a state of financial independence as well as freedom, utilizing a multitude of approaches. And here is the link for the wellness wheel. I can also share it in the chat a little bit later. Okay, I think I'm back. There we go. Okay. Can you all see the slide?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Okay. So here are some strategies to help you navigate each dimension of wellness. In the physical piece, the usual ones, which are important as well, exercising, healthy eating, wellness checkups at least once a year, y'all. Super important. Therapy visits, also, that's an emotional wellness side as well. Sleeping regularly, sleeping regularly, sleeping regularly. I forgot what rapper said I think it was Jeezy. I'm gonna sleep when I die. Foolishness. Make sure you get your sleep. Attend a yoga event or exercise class, which you'll be doing today. So definitely stay tuned for that. Emotional wellness. So engage in a positive self-talk, really combating your self-defeating thoughts that's getting in the way of your greatness. Restructuring negative thinking patterns. Begin therapy or wellness sessions. Yes, I'm a therapist, so I'm going to always advocate for therapy. However, there are other wellness approaches that are effective in helping you enhancing your emotional wellness. And that can include life coaching, Reiki sessions, you name it. So whatever floats your boat, make sure that you start to look into receiving those services. Be honest about your emotions. And it could be you being honest in a therapy session or even with your loved ones that you trust. Again, emphasis on trust. Everybody does not deserve the gift of vulnerability. Journaling is also a really amazing exercise you can do for emotional wellness and practicing gratitude. You can honestly lump both of them with each other because you could do a gratitude journal, which I have one and I live by it. Intellectual, so puzzles, workshops, whether it's attending or facilitating, trainings, whether it's attending and facilitating. And I want you all to be mindful that it doesn't have to be educational, formal educational workshops, like, I don't know, a Psych 101 workshop. It can be something that catches your interest, like you want to learn how to garden, doing a workshop to help you or training to help you learn how to excel in that particular area. Reading, teaching, as well as mentoring as also. From a spiritual standpoint, practicing meditation, prayer, acts of kindness, and it could be as simply as you telling somebody, you look good today. Not in a creepy way. Visit religious or spiritual facilities, reflecting on values and beliefs. And I feel like this one should be practiced regularly. I'll say about every 6 months, regularly on that regimen, because our lives change, our lifestyles change, we change. So that means our values and beliefs are going to change as well. Social. Make an effort towards establishing as well as maintaining friendships. I know we tend to get consumed with the chaos of life. However, we still need to make time to commit towards our loved ones. So take this today as a sign to reach out to that person that you have not spoken to in about a month or a few weeks and just check in. It could be as simply as, hey, I'm thinking about you. But make sure that you are making that effort to maintain your social circles. Go volunteer, join a club, attend a networking event, identify and implement boundaries. Also, environmental, connect with nature, redecorate your space, declutter. Energy consciousness, this also helps with the financial piece. So you knock two birds on one stone, but be conservative of the energy and create a garden. Financial, create a budget. I know it's super, super difficult for us to be honest with our financial situation because we want to live our best life. We want to be able to splurge on ourselves, but sometimes we do have to take a realistic approach if we have certain financial goals for ourselves. So creating a budget so you can manage your money a little bit better, not deprive yourself of luxuries or greatness. You can always set a pot for leisure activities. So don't neglect yourself when doing a budget. Save an emergency fund. Things happen. And this is not to say set aside $500 every week for your emergency fund, but start to build onto that. It could be $20 a month, whatever the case may be, but that adds up and that can help you during any type of situation. Invest wisely. If you are into investing, you're well aware of this, but if you are just getting introduced to that space, please be mindful. Don't go into it blindsided. Definitely learn the in and outs with investing through books. There's also free podcasts as well as workshops out there to help you navigate this space. But please, please, please don't go into it blindsided. I feel like investing is a buzzword right now. Save for something special. As I mentioned, don't deprive yourself. I know talking about finances, but make sure that with achieving those goals, you also set aside some money for your own happiness. As mentioned, I'm a vacationer, so I'm always going to save for that and enjoy myself. And that's my reward every year for myself. And also track your spending. You can do that through the budget. So overall, those are some strategies you all can indulge in to help enhance each level of wellness shown on that wheel. Another question for you all to sit with and process. What dimension of wellness do you feel like you can improve in? And I love to finish off my presentations with this quote. I know some people are feeling some type of way about Oprah, but I gotta admit, I do love this quote. Financial and environmental. Yes, girl, yes. Make sure you take care of yourselves and commit to those areas. Now, as far as the quote, and I appreciate the participation today, y'all. I love, love, love. I'm an interactive facilitator, so I do love y'all getting involved. So thank you so much and sharing your stories, your ideas, and your thoughts. As you become more clear about who you are, you'll be better able to decide what is best for you. I'm going to say that again, and it's just one word, you. You deserve to be looked after, you deserve abundance, and you deserve happiness, despite all that's going on in society. And I want you to be at the center of your mind. That's not to say be callous and completely neglect everybody around you, but make sure you save space to commit towards your wellness and your well-being. And that will ultimately help you combat stress. Here is my contact information if you all would like to reach out to me. I'm also going to be debuting a new website. It's going to be Shawnessa Devonish-Ford.com. probably at the end of the month. So you can also reach out to me at that website also. But please feel free to reach out with all your questions, thoughts, you name it. All right.